Good morning. I am Laura Hart. I am the founder and CEO of Robofun, a 27-year-old MWBE, and I'm here with my colleague, Noah Diamond, who is our senior on-site program manager. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good to be here.
Noah is good, but he's slightly lying because we just spent the last 10 minutes. Well, maybe no, we really did. It was more like 20 minutes with technical glitches,
Yes.
something that we're all experienced with in our lives with
Mhm.
tech. This always happens. Um, I'm thrilled to restart my heart to hearts because it's been a while. As my son would say, it's been a minute. I used to do this every single week for, I think I counted it 101 times. Maybe not every week, but I did about 101 of them. And now I'm reviving it not every week to about once a month. And we're here today to talk about summer camp and about an event at the RoboFun studio this Sunday, April 27th, which is an open house. And Noah, you want to talk a bit about the open house and maybe if you can put in the chat, the link. We have 50 people signed up so far. Uh, we would love to see you, and it's a chance to learn about summer camp, but I'll let Noah tell us more details.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as Laura was saying, we're actually going to be talking today about summer camp. We want to give any parents who are looking for summer camp, or in particular looking for kind of an alternative camp for their kids, if their kids are really passionate about engineering, coding, building, putting things together. We are the best place for that, where kids can really come and develop their skills and follow their passion with their interest in STEAM. And so the open house this Sunday is exactly that. It's an opportunity for kids to engage with different technologies we have. They'll be able to play with robots, learn how to code them, put together circuitry projects in a Minecraft world. For the younger kids, we'll have Duplo Lego projects. So it'll really just be an open space to play and explore. And Laura will be there sharing about her approach to summer camp, the education of summer camp, which is a constructivist approach, and be able to answer questions for parents. We'll share all the details about it and everything like that. So it's a great way for your kids to do a free, fun activity and for you to learn about summer camp. And we will be only that day offering a very unique discount for summer camp for those who show up to join us.
So we hope you come. It's generally a really fun 3 hours. I'm sometimes running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I'm running sort of groups, leading parents through everything that happens during summer camp. We give you opportunities to ask us questions. And what we wanted to do today is we wanted to have an opportunity to give you more information here in case you're not available. And so we're going to walk you through a number of questions, both about summer camp and also just about in general RoboFun. This has been my life's work. Yes, there's a little bit of gray hair in there, and I've had quite a journey with it. And so, Noah, you want to kick off the first question?
Yeah, we'll be going back and forth. So, Laura, would you share what inspired the creation of a STEAM-focused summer camp in the first place? Like, what need in children's education do you feel it addresses?
Um, well, when I started the company 27 years ago, we started in schools primarily. And then I was in an office space that I was subletting, and the person I was subletting with begged me to do this with his own children. And I was like, oh, I'm missing an opportunity. You know, the sort of journey of an entrepreneur is not always straightforward. So after doing this in schools, I realized, wow, we should be doing this directly for kids. I have 16 years of teaching experience, both in public, private schools. I was the director of the computer program for the Buckley School for 14 years, the Little Red Schoolhouse for 2 years, and then I ran a lot of summer programs in rural Maine for Job Corps and for younger children. And ultimately, my years in private school allowed me to hone a lot of good ideas about children and curriculum. And what we do in summer camp is actually what I did in the classroom during the school day. And basically, my largest problem when I was a teacher was getting the kids out to their next class on time because they were having so much fun. And I'm a big believer that it has to be fun for it to be meaningful for children and for us too, us adults.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, that's great. So I'm hearing like a need for learning through fun, not fun and learning separate, but putting them together, which I think is
Yes.
so true.
Yes.
So tell me, Laura, in your opinion, why is it important for children to engage with STEAM subjects at a young age?
I think, unfortunately, we often have a siloed approach to thinking about living and learning. And STEAM, which is this acronym for science, technology, engineering, math, art, I got the order wrong there, art, math, they're all around us. And I think that we're always engaging in them anyway, whether we label them or not. But I think it's helpful for kids to have just deep, enriching experiences making things and pointing out with the making process the connection to many of those areas. So I think we all have STEAM all around us. The acronym wasn't like the beginning of it by any means. So
Yeah, that's great. So how would you say, given that the camp's curriculum with its focus on Scratch, coding, robotics, Python, and Minecraft prepares kids for the future?
okay. So I'm going to turn this back to Noah in a minute, but the first thing I want to mention is that when I was a computer teacher, and still parents say, I want my child to learn what he's going to need in his first job or second job. And I always would say, well, what we're doing with them isn't going to exist then because everything keeps changing. So what is going to exist is kids who are great problem solvers and who can think creatively. So in our selection of applications, it allows for that. And then Noah, do you want to elaborate on this or talk about each of?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. No, I mean, I love what you said, and I think similarly, what is really great, each one I think has each tech has a bit of a different advantage, and some of them overlap. But one of the big ones I think with coding, for example, is that children learn to think iteratively, and they learn to do things in a specific order to complete it, which in and of itself sounds very structured, but they're doing all that structure to create something really exciting and fun, like a game where they can collect coins, or an art project in Python that like shifts and changes colors. And because they're really excited about it, it's like it's an early way of kids getting excited about a project they want to create, a vision they have, that they've chosen or that inspires them, and then they're learning the skills to put it together. And I think that's really important, to see the vision and then to have the ability to go step by step to then finish and complete it. And of course, like at points, some kids, especially the ones that really care about what they're doing, get frustrated when it doesn't work. And then it's a great opportunity for emotional regulation and learning, hey, this is part of the process, and trying a new approach or getting help from a friend or the teacher. So all of those, I think, are really essential skills for having your sights on a project and following through and finishing it in general.
Agreed. Great answer. Fantastic. So I'm confused, Noah. Am I supposed to ask you this question, or are you supposed to ask me number 4?
Number 4. Oh, I'm asking you.
Okay.
So tell us, what kind of impact do you hope the summer camp will have on the campers? Beyond just learning the technical skills, what else might they gain?
My whole goal beyond summer camp for all of our classes is that kids learn to love learning and to, through this, learn to be their own teacher. We are currently jumping into AI at Robofun. We're all going to start to have these tutors all around us helping us. None of this is valuable unless we want to use it and have really good goals for using it. So my entire goal is to help kids love to learn.
Awesome. Love that.
Okay, now it's me. I'm getting the hang of this. Can you share a success story or a memorable moment from a previous camp that highlights its value?
Well, the way you phrase that is a little different than I expected, because my favorite camp moment. I'll share my favorite camp moment.
Yeah, share your favorite, and I'll share one of mine.
There are so many moments when we have both kids that come and love building, say, robots, and they build. I always love the moments when they've built through all the blueprints that we have printed, and then they start to design their own using the principles we've taught. And I'm just amazed. Like, I'll see a race car with like 16 gear, like a gear train that just powers it up, and it's always incredible. I feel like this could be whatever they build could be made by Lego into something. They're so well done. But I think my favorite camp moment was that we have themes. Excuse me, I'm just plugging my computer in. We've got themes each week during summer camp, which if you join our newsletter at robofun.org, you'll be able to get an email with a list of them. And each week we have a costume day during the summer, where on Wednesdays kids can dress up like the theme. And we had one week that was the theme was fantasy, and this girl came dressed in the most realistic Gandalf costume, the wizard from Lord of the Rings. And she just stayed in the costume the whole time and was doing her robotics in the costume. And I loved both that sense of creativity and play that was just right there, where she had no discomfort about wearing it in front of other kids, totally comfortable, and just building her robots at the same time. So that was probably the most memorable moment for me.
Okay, I also have to jump in. And I have two moments. One, I do teach, and I don't teach enough, and I'm actually in the process of building a lot of curriculum. So I will be teaching. So you will learn via our newsletter certain times when I will be teaching or watching our teachers and helping them with new curriculum. But one moment in the classroom was when I said to everyone, okay, we need to have a class meeting. We need to come together and talk about where everyone's at and what the next steps are. And this little boy looked at me and said, Laura, I can't have a meeting. I'm just too busy with my project right now. That's a successful moment. The other successful moment doesn't initially sound successful, but was in a sad way. I was in a different room, and I started to hear howling of crying. And so, of course, I was a bit concerned. And one of my staff said, it's okay, Laura, everything's fine. The child is very, very upset that it's Friday afternoon and the week of camp is over.
Right.
Those things, I'm not happy that he's crying, but it was, okay, we're doing something right here.
He enjoyed it. Exactly.
Yes. All right, Noah, I'm going to mute myself while there is a siren going by, but can you describe a typical day at the STEAM summer camp?
Yeah, this is a great question. So it's hang on, I'll mute myself for a moment too while the siren.
Okay, so I live across the street. So the siren came to me first, and now it went by Noah. And
okay, I think we're good. So summer camp comes in two parts. We have a morning camp, which is from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and an afternoon camp, which is from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And many parents will book both, and then it becomes a full day. And so I'll give you an example: the morning, and then the full day in the afternoon. So we start at 9 a.m. and parents can come and drop their kids off a bit earlier, around 8:55 or so. And we do have an early drop-off option. So if any parents need to get to work, we do have an early drop-off at 8:30 a.m. And then the kids will be with the teachers, free building, just relaxing, making mini projects while we wait for everybody to get here. And then at 9 o'clock, camp starts. And every camp will start with an opening circle. And the opening circle will have some kind of question of the day that gets kids thinking creatively and sharing with each other, interacting and bonding as a group. And then since each week we have a theme, there'll be sort of a mini lesson on the theme. And then there'll be a mini lesson on whatever the tech is. So those will kind of be put together. So for example, if it's Spike Robotics, students will learn about the electronic parts of the robot, the piece names at the beginning of the week. But then if the week is underwater themed, for example, they might do a little bit of a mini lesson on how submarines work and radar. And then that will connect later with their project, say with adding a certain sensor that functions like radar. So anyway, opening circle, mini lesson, mini activity. They'll start with a little, and it's different for each teacher and each week, but there'll be some kind of activity to begin building their skills and practicing. Then they'll go into some kind of main project. Then there'll be a snack break at 10:30. Then they'll go back to working on their project. For the robotic classes that involve coding, a portion of the class will also be around coding their robot. And because summer camp is 5 days at a time, students will be building each day a project either over several days or one larger project over the whole week. And then on the Friday of each week of camp, we'll have presentations where parents will be able to see what their kids have made, learn about the specific activities, and get to meet the teachers and everything like that. So it's the same in the afternoon. There'll be an opening circle, the mini activity, and the same with the presentation. And then for anybody who's doing full day, at 12 o'clock, all the kids will gather in our largest room. They'll have lunch. And then if it's nice out, myself, my colleague Caroline, or other Robofun staff will take the students to the park across the street. We'll play in the playground for 20, 25 minutes or so, get that energy out, and then come back for the afternoon.
Very, very nice answer. Thank you. What do you think makes us unique, compared to other summer camps?
That's a great question. I mean, so the feedback I've heard from parents and from what I've seen out there is I think what makes us really unique is that we're, one, a really, really good balance of structure and creative free expression. So our teachers doing a really amazing job. Like we have a really structured curriculum. We go from this to this to this, yet at the same time, the teachers all follow the students' interest. And we have a way of taking the students' interest and putting them along a certain track on the curriculum that teaches them new things, challenges them to grow, and yet gives them freedom and permission to pursue what interests them specifically. And it might be something as small as a slight tweak to a current robot that they want to add to it, to as large as them building their own project, but they're still doing it in a way that's in alignment with what's being learned. So it's that balance of structure and fun. You know, a mom the other day told me that her pre-K, her child who's in pre-K, she was like, I love how in your class, like, you guys have rules where kids, even the little ones, have to raise their hand if they want a question. And and it's not because we're strict. We just set, at Robofun, the teachers do a great job of setting strong classroom agreements and boundaries that create a container of safety that really let kids explore freely and fully and respect each other. So I would say it's that.
So now I'm going, as usual, a little off script, but I know well enough to know you'll be able to handle it. We have a lot of, how do I put this, nerdy, smart, like kids who come and love what we're doing and may have done a lot of it before. And I don't want to, okay, I'm a mom, and I had my son go to lots of camp. I want to make sure that my child, who may be at a different level than other kids, is not just sort of going through the run-of-the-mill stuff that everybody else is going through, if he's come to Robofun before or if he already knows this. So how do we handle that in our summer camp?
Yeah, that's a great question. So usually the kids that have done it before have done it before with us. And so one, we already have a sense of what they know and where they're at, and the teachers already have a sense of what they know and where they're at. And our teachers will always be learning continuing to educate themselves to keep pushing what they can do with the kids as well, and then sharing that. So for example, we have a lot of Minecraft and circuitry classes. It's probably our most popular class, which makes sense because kids love Minecraft. It's a video game, but we use it in a very educational way, and we have some kids that are so advanced in it. Yet what the teachers will do is, for really advanced students, they may do something like teach them how to do the code that makes something happen in the game. So they're actually getting a bit behind the game, or they may give them a very complex challenge, or a project that requires a great deal of technical skill and precision to be able to pull off in Minecraft. So for the kids that have come here before, they're always getting new challenges, and the teachers are always learning themselves to share on more advanced information so they can keep growing and learning.
Great. All right. So tell us a little bit about the age range, the costs, the hours.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mentioned the hours, so we do 9 to 12, and then 1 to 4. We've got that early drop off from 8:30 to 9, and we've got an extended day from 4 to 5 for any parents that need to get here a bit later. And the cost for a half day of summer camp, which is either 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 1 to 4, is $497, and the full day is $994. And the age range is pre-K through 8th grade. We recommend 7th and 8th graders typically do Python because it's the most advanced, but we do have some 7th graders who still love doing their robotics. And for 1st grade and up, we provide a full day option. For pre-K and kindergarten, we typically do a half day. With kindergartners, we used to do the full day, and we found with our particular activities of building and coding, it was just a pretty intense for them. That said, if we do occasionally have kindergartners who stay for the full day in the 1st grade classes because they're ready for it, and we do that on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, Noah, while you're talking, I'm typing. So tell me again the half-day cost and the full-day cost.
Yeah, the half day is $497.
7. Yep.
And the full day is $994.
Okay, and keep in mind you will get a discount this weekend, this Sunday, if you come and join us. We also do a lot of trials. So if you and trials are a really good way. I think of kids. The term early adapters came from tech and people who jump into things. I'm definitely one of those. And my issue, or not issue, is that my own child was not an early adapter, or not somebody who I could just throw into situations. He needed time, and he needed to check it out, and he needed to feel safe. And so rarely would I say, oh, by the way, next week you're going to some place you've never heard of, and I'll drop you at 9 and pick you up at 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have said it that way anyway, but that would have been the intent. And so we offer trials, and we also really recommend that you stop by. And so can you talk a little bit about both? I mean, I don't know if it's too late for trials this spring. I can't.
No, well, actually, the trials in the spring are better. So we rarely offer, we do free trials. We do them less during summer camp typically because the summer camp classes are small and they fill up. And if somebody is there on a trial on one day, it changes the dynamic of the class. So we do occasionally make exceptions for that, but typically we offer trials for after school, and people are totally welcome to still come. We're about halfway through the semester, but we keep our classes small so everyone gets attention. And if there's a new student there, we can totally catch them up, engage them on their first day. So anybody that's interested in doing a trial to see which tech you like, to see if it's a good fit, you can reach out to me at noah@robofun.org, and I will support you in getting set up for a trial class.
Okay. Tell us a bit about what is costume day? Why do we make is the wrong word, but why do kids sign up for a week of camp at a time versus, hey, I got one day, can I throw them in? Why are we not so excited about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it really has to do with our commitment to the summer camp experience, because at other times during the year, we absolutely do that on all of our other week-long vacation camps. People can sign up for a day or whatever works for them. But summer, we really want to emulate that summer camp experience where kids really get to know each other, they really bond, and it's about building a community over time. So that's the first reason. And the second is we really want them to learn something more advanced and really grow in their STEAM understanding and skills. And so, 5 days in a row for 3 hours a day, they're really able to engage more complex projects and try things that, we do more complex projects over after school semesters, but it's spaced out every week for an hour and a half as opposed to this more intensive. So it's a lot of learning, really fast, a lot of fun, a lot of connection, and it really creates that summer camp experience, and that's what we're hoping for.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the howling at the end of the week that the camp is over is both a good sign and not the most easy moment as a parent. Okay, so I think we can move on to our last question. Noah, unless you feel like we're missing any big pieces here.
Let me see. Feel free to ask the question, or am I asking you?
All right. We got an open house coming up. My job is to bring tulips because I always think they brighten up our beautiful new space. If you haven't been to the new Robofun, it's a great space. Oh, I remembered something I want to add, which is important. We believe small classes help kids learn. Your child will not be overlooked. If you have a shy, accommodating child and you're always like, hey, the teacher never notices because they don't know how to ask. The largest class is 8 or 10 kids. We try to keep it to 8. Occasionally we go a little bigger.
And we'll always have 2 teachers with a class that's 8 or bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many places in the world you're going to find that. We really value knowing and supporting your child in a way that I believe is unusual. And we get feedback about that. At the end of class, at the end of the week, you will meet your child's teacher. They will tell you things you may know, you may not know about your own child in these situations. Okay, so what's happens at the open house?
Well, I mentioned it before a bit. So basically, we'll have all of our technologies on display, and your kids can come. They can play with them. They can engage with them. We'll have about like 12 robots out for kids to interact with, depending on how many people are in the space. Sometimes there's lulls where there's a little more room, and the teachers will be able to teach a mini lesson or teach your kids about coding. We'll have some stations open with different Minecraft worlds where kids can learn about different projects in Minecraft. And then each hour, Laura will be doing a talk about summer camp where you'll have an opportunity to ask questions. And that is this Sunday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., April 27th. You can go to the link in the chat and register at Eventbrite. If you can't see that for whatever reason, you can just Google Robofun Open House April 27th and register for free on Eventbrite. And we will be offering a surprise discount the day of for those who are with us.
All right.
And
go ahead, Noah.
Well, one other thing I just realized I want to add, some of our parents were asking if we sent out an email about the summer themes, which each week has a theme like underwater, deep space exploration, factories and functional tools. And a parent asked, is this a different camp than the Spike Robotics, the Minecraft? And no, it is not a different camp. We just use those themes to inform and color each of the weeks. So if you're in a Minecraft class and the theme is factories and functional tools, you may build a factory in Minecraft. You may learn about robotic arms and how they function in factories. It's just a way to share more science and more interesting facts with students alongside what they're already learning in that technology.
All right. Thank you, Noah.
Thank you.
I am very, very lucky to have Noah with me on my team, and he has been with us is it 10 years, Noah? 12 years?
I've been a manager for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And before that, Noah, after graduating from the University of Chicago and having a stint in real estate, came back and taught with us. And he's been amazing. So, all right. So we're set. Call us if you want to learn more at 212-245-0444 or go to robofun.org or just stop by. We have a beautiful storefront that the SBA helped me build that we've been in for almost 2 years on West End Avenue between 64th and 65th. If you know Toga Bikes, we're in that cluster of buildings. All right. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us. Bye. Thank you, Noah.